Hey guys, well, we're just about to wrap up our hunt in one of the rednecks this morning, and I want to do a quick little video on pre-rut hunting strategies and locations. And it is October 23rd. We ended up heading up to Kansas on Tuesday and had a really good quality hunt with the northwest wind. Didn't see any big mature bucks in the morning, but we did get the opportunity to see a lot of deer in the afternoon into the evening time period. And we had deer at the mock scrapes, we had deer in the food plot eating, even our summer giant from Nixa that we planted in the summer that we're using for a funnel system. The deer are even eating on that, but we also have our bullseye and buck salad in that particular food plot as well, just so we can take those deer all the way through. And then Wednesday morning I ended up hunting in the woods back here in Missouri. Saw, I think there was probably 10 or 12 antlerless deer, and had a rock solid hunt. Ended up harvesting one doe. I had one of our nice 4.5-year-old deer move through, and that was just great to see. And then I also saw another pretty good sized buck. I'm not super familiar with him, I don't have a whole lot of history, but I think he was probably 3.5 if I'm not just guessing there. But we are up here in one of the rednecks this morning, and got to see more of an observation sit more than anything. If we could pick up a doe or two, then we will. But we saw, I actually ended up seeing one of our real nice 4.5-year-old deer come through, and then a lot of antlerless deer moving in and out of here, which was great to see. But getting into the pre-rut hunting locations, number one is make sure you understand where your does are going. And those does, as long as they're not pressured, they should be a creature of habit, and they're continuously moving from one wood lot or to another, or a food source to a wood lot. And as long as you're not disturbing that pattern, and if you're rolling with those does, I think you're going to find that very useful in regards to a pretty good strategy. Now, in the evening times, I primarily will be hunting over our Nixa hardware food plots. We've got some food plots that I haven't even hunted over, just because I've been waiting. We've got some pretty good deer moving in and out of there, both mature and some younger bucks. I really look forward to at least getting some photography of some of them, and then there's one or two that I would definitely go ahead and pull back and harvest if that opportunity presented itself in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll get in there and start hunting them when the timing's right. But this is where we're sitting at right now. This is a cold grazer rye. It's on the backside of a real rocky area, and the deer just aren't using this as a food source at this point. But I utilize this blind a lot for an east wind. Early season to observe, but then late season, those deer will really start hammering this cold grazer rye once all the acorns and everything else, green sources, gone away. And then remember water. I think that's one of the most overlooked things that hunters don't. They see it, but they don't isolate it. So you see a lot of trail camera footage that I'll provide, that those bucks, they'll use these 55-gallon tanks to the bigger tanks, to the ponds, whatever. But having that water readily available, because they may be moving from one area to the next, and they need that quick little drink, and they know that water's there, they'll come right up in there, get a drink, hopefully present you guys a good shot, and you move on forward there. Now, if we're in a hard mass year with the acorns just crazy, I was cleaning up one tree stand that we'll probably hunt in the next couple of weeks, and I was just seeing hundreds of acorns through there. So definitely keep up with your white oaks and your red oaks. But as you guys transition in and out of your hunting locations, look on the ground, try to mark that, because is if there's a lot of acorns still on the ground, that may be a great avenue for you guys to think of in the upcoming weeks. And then another thing that I really feel like has been overlooked, and we need to do a little bit better job, but we actually ran into this probably 15-20 years ago in Kansas, is the soft mast. And what I mean by that is like your fruit trees. We've got a fruit tree up in Kansas when I was looking at there, and I mean there was just tons of pears on the ground. Same for apples, if you guys have those available. I'm starting to see, a little bit more people planting orchards, if you will, for their wildlife. We've got a lot of them at the house that we, that we absolutely love watching deer utilize throughout the year when that fruit is there to be taken. But those fruit trees, such as your apple, pear, peach trees, even if you're in an area that would have those. And then one thing I've really started watching is hedge apples. I do think that there's something with hedge apples, but I think it's one of those, it's a timing deal. And I think that I need to find a few hedge apple trees and put a couple trail cameras on there. But I sat there and watched last year some does eating hedge apples, and there was a bunch of them on the ground, and I went back in there the week later to hunt again, and all those hedge apples were gone. So I feel like what's happening in those hedge apples, they get sweet, and it's probably not every single property, but I think that there are areas of the country that those deer actually hammer those hedge apples, because I just can't see squirrels, that many squirrels being around here to isolate those hedge apples. But I'll continue to learn a little bit more about that and maybe utilize that into the upcoming years as another alternative for the soft mast. So we're going to go ahead and probably hunt for a little bit longer this morning. I've got a lot of footage to share with you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Like always, hopefully you guys are getting out there in nature. Best luck on your upcoming hunt.